So what actually happens inside an embassy when the order comes to shut down operations, and why are our embassies such a target? Joining us now, former Ambassador Jim Rosapepe, former U.S. Ambassador to Romania and member of the Council of American Ambassadors, also currently serving as a state senator in Maryland. You're a busy man. Thank you for making time for us today.
Happy to.
All right, let me ask you first of all, for now, I mean, there is a worldwide terror alert when it comes to travel, but there are these specific embassies and consulates that are closed down. Why are they such a target?
Well, they're symbolic. Obviously, they're an American presence, an American building, American diplomats, American flag in foreign countries. So they're a symbolic target for enemies of America.
And there are a lot of questions about, these groups don't want us there. Many of them don't want a U.S. presence there. So this closure appears to be temporary for now in response to a very specific threat. But is it sort of a moral victory for them in some way that they're at least shutting down the U.S. presence temporarily?
Well, that's what terrorism is about, is they don't have the military means to take over our country or to invade the United States or be an existential threat to the United States. They do have the ability to sow fear, and so that's what they try to do. And sometimes they do it through actual bombings and killing people. Sometimes they do it through what they say on the internet. So it's part of a pattern we've seen for a long time.
Right. As an ambassador, formerly to Romania, you know what it's like to be at one of these diplomatic outposts. What is the protocol when you know there is a threat coming? Because I would imagine on a day-to-day basis, you've got pretty beefed up security anyway, just because you are a target. What happens then when you hear there's something elevated, we think it's credible, we simply have to shut down?
Well, when I was ambassador, we didn't have to shut down the embassy. This was pre-9/11. But we did have a period for about a month where we had what they call chatter. This was actually related to the war in Iraq, and there was some discussion about somebody might do something in Romania. And so we had some beefed up security. For most of the time I was in Romania, I did not have guards going with me around Romania. For a month I did because of this sort of thing. Nothing happened. But it's like in your neighborhood. If you hear the burglars in the neighborhood, you double check your windows, you double check your door. Maybe you don't go out running that night. It's pretty much common sense.
What happens to our personnel in all of these locations at this point?
Well, as I understand it, they're staying in country. I mean, when things get very dangerous, we evacuate people. I don't think anyone's being evacuated at this point. We're saying don't come to the embassy. One of the things to keep in mind is our courageous diplomats obviously are in danger when people are threatening our embassies. But so are the people, which is more people, who come to our embassies. The people from the host country who are applying for a visa, the Americans who are there visiting and lost their passport, or whose spouse died and they're trying to arrange to have the body come back to the United States for the funeral. Embassies are sort of like bank branches. They need to be secure, but they basically are customer service. So there are many, many people who could be in danger beyond American diplomats.
Based on your service, your knowledge of how these things operate, it sounds like a pretty big step for the State Department to issue these warnings and to have these facilities closed.
I think it is. I think there's a view, correctly, better be safe than sorry. You don't want to get your visa and lose your life. So they're erring on the side of caution. I think looking at the time of day, in most of these countries, the workday is already over. So the State Department is going to have to make a decision now, this afternoon, this evening, as to whether they're going to keep them closed tomorrow or not, which countries, we'll see.
And we will. Ambassador, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.